Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Darren Till responds to Khabib saying Khamzat is surrounded by bad company.
Khabib's missed weight like 5 times, man. Like, he's got good people around him. We're not coming out now saying, oh, what, because me and Khamzat have a bit of fun on camera, we're a little bit wild. Does that mean that I'm not good people's, or his coaches aren't good people's? Like, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach is one of the best grapplers of all time. He's not Muslim. Does that mean he's bad people's? Like, as much as I do respect Khabib as a person and a fighter, I just don't respect him coming out with comments like that. And, other people as well. Like,
in a recent interview, Michael Chandler had this to say about a potential Conor McGregor fight and a fight against the winner of Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira. Here's the clip.
I've said this numerous times too, where it's, you never get your hopes up for a Conor fight. With the landscape of mixed martial arts and where Conor is, and his last couple of fights, obviously coming off of a really bad injury, and also him earning the right to pick and choose when and where he fights and how often he fights. And we saw him; he took the Roadhouse remake position as one of the actors there. So he's got the world at his fingertips in a lot of different ways. So I'm over here very much focused on things outside of the cage and building businesses and being a part of businesses and building my life to provide for my family. But my number one way that I do that is mixed martial arts. For him, I don't know if that's actually the case. So he's got a ton of options. So I didn't really get too high on it. Didn't really put my faith in that fight actually happening, even though there was some good momentum, and there still is some good momentum. But I still got my sights set on becoming world champion. I think I beat Dustin November 12th. I think I'm the next guy in line. I fight Islam or Oliveira first quarter of next year or summer of next year, whenever that fight materializes, and I'm your world champion by middle of next year.
Who do you think wins that fight?
I think Charles wins that fight. I think it's crazy that Islam is a favorite. I would say aside from Charles Oliveira not making weight in the last fight, which was obviously unprofessional. I think even he would admit that, and it's not indicative of champion, the way a champion carries himself. It's tough to make weight at times, and he missed it. But aside from that, man, the guy has looked. He's looked very, very good.
What do you guys think about Chandler's comments? If he beats Poirier, should he be next in line for a title shot? Alex Pereria has recently shared some training footage to his Instagram. Mike Perry has recently called out Nate Diaz for a bare-knuckle fight. Here's the clip.
Nate, where you at, dog? Let's fire up.
What do you guys think about a bare-knuckle fight between Mike Perry and Nate Diaz? Let us know in the comment section below. Chael Sonnen has recently given his take on whether or not Tony Ferguson should retire. Here's what Sonnen had to say.
I don't fully know what went on with his training. I don't fully know. And I saw something different than many people did. Daniel Cormier spoke very clearly on this, and it was tough talk. You got to have tough talk, particularly from guys that are leaders like Daniel. And Daniel said, it is over. He said, I don't know what within that I don't care about the outcome. I didn't like the way Tony performed. And I don't know what within that performance would lead Tony to believe it's a good idea to ever do this again. All right. Daniel has earned the right to an opinion. And Daniel is not just a former great competitor. He's a current coach. So this is his job. And maybe he doesn't oversee Tony, but he oversees guys just like Tony, who are doing something, who are dedicated to something, who at some point, hey, you need to go on to call. You got 4 more years and you need to do this. You're just breaking through, and he's got to turn to somebody else. And he's got to say, great career. But it's time to stop competing in this field. These are tough things. So Daniel put both of those caps on. He came to his opinion. With Tony, Daniel is not alone. I think I'm the odd man out. I saw something different. I liked the fight. There was a time within that fight I thought that Nate Diaz quit. There was a time when Nate turned and walked away and he even waved it off. Now the referee has the right to step in and stop the fight right there. The referee just knew Nate well enough. Hey, no damages happened, nothing's bad. Let this moment play out. Do you guys remember that?
Joe Rogan recently gave us some insight into his UFC contract on a recent episode of his podcast. When a guest told him if he were to leave as a commentator, he would be very upset. To this, Joe replied, "Well, if Dana leaves, I'm gone. That's in my contract. What he does is very different. He's a real guy all day long." It's crazy to think that when Dana White leaves the UFC, Joe Rogan will also be leaving. Let's just hope that day isn't coming anytime soon. In a recent interview with Dan Hooker, Alexander Volkanovski toyed with the idea of fighting Conor McGregor. Here's the clip.
Picking little fights with old C-Mac.
Conor McGregor. I think that's a fight. That's a fight that makes sense. That's a fight, especially, I would say, secured that spot, #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. That's I definitely didn't think that Conor McGregor would come back down to 45. The guy doesn't even want to go to 55. So is that where would it kind of me? I don't even think he'd go to 55. Would you go up to 170 to fight him?
Mate, to be honest, I would 100%. I'd go to any weight.
I think that makes sense. You're still the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, and there's only one way to show pound for pound, right? It's fight at any weight. If I think you would be, you're head and shoulders the #1. Most likely, I would say, next in line to fight Conor. For me, it would be you, then Michael Chandler, and then maybe Charles Oliveira. I would say that's top 3. But you being #1 pound for pound, you go up to 170. He comes back. I think that fight sells.
Kenny Florian has recently come out and said that Khamzat just walked forward against Kevin Holland as if he had no respect for him as a fighter. He approached this fight like he was going against a sparring partner that he absolutely dominates and tools in practice whenever he wants. He just walked forward like he had no respect for Kevin Holland whatsoever. I'm gonna dominate you, I'm gonna make this look easy. It was that level of confidence. Michael Bisping has recently come out and said that Khamzat broke samurai code by not touching gloves and shooting straight for the takedown against Kevin Holland last weekend. Here's the clip.
Funny, since the fight, Kevin Holland came out and said he lost a grappling match, which, listen, I love Kevin Holland. He's awesome. He's a friend of the show. He's been on here many times, and I like what he brings to the table. Super excited, really talented fighter, but it is mixed martial arts, the arts of the mixed martial. And I don't know how, by the way, I didn't spot this on the night. And I even did a post-fight show with BT Sport yesterday, and we didn't mention this one time. Kevin Holland went in to touch gloves. I didn't spot this. The director on the film, we had dinner last night, MJ. And MJ says, I didn't like that when he tried to touch gloves, though. And he just shot a double leg takedown. I said, what are you talking about? And she sent me a little clip. Yeah, wild. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I mean, look, defend yourself at all times. You touch gloves before the bell for a reason, because you get that out of the way, right? Ben Askren was coming out kind of half-assed with the hand up when he got hit with the flying knee by Masvidal. Absolutely not. Once that bell rings, you are opponents. Any kind of handshaking, hand-wringing, hugging inside the octagon, inside those 15 or 25 minutes of fighting is absolute nonsense to me.
Correct, Amundo. However, devil's avocado right back at you. There is an unwritten code of samurais and warriors dating back through the dark ages. When you engage in hand-to-hand combat, there's a certain dignity involved, don't you know?
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.